Greetings and welcome to the Jacksonville Buzz. I'm your host, Adrienne Houghton, and we've got an exciting show coming up for you today with segments from buzzworthy businesses and on a mission. So stay tuned.
Born out of the bold city of the South, Southern Grill has been a mainstay of Jacksonville's South Bank for over 18 years. Southern Grill serves up the home-cooked meals daily. From breakfast served daily to Southern cooked barbecue, sandwiches, wraps, platters, and vegetarian options has you covered from sunup to sundown. At night, enjoy some of the live music at our full bar or catch this week's best college or NFL game with our NFL Sunday ticket. Dine in, to go, delivery, or catering. Enjoy a taste of the South at Southern Grill.
Hey everybody, welcome to Buzzworthy Business, brought to you by Seaside Bank and Trust. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and today I have Joe Bowers from Party Shack. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Jesse.
So tell me a little bit about your company.
Party Shack's a local company, family-owned, 4-year-old company, started in 2018. Did real well locally here, testing our product with the Jacksonville Jaguars and public supermarkets, and then eventually grew the business to other markets with Publix, supermarkets, and then of course COVID hit, and that kind of stalled, the introduction of the product locally.
Yep.
But hence that time we've done great on a Southeast region and a Midwest region, and we've done super at the NFL currently with 5 NFL teams that use our product.
Excellent. So if I was to put you on the spot and I said, okay, what is Party Shack? How would you describe it to somebody off the street?
Take a skybox out of the stadium and put it in the parking lot. And those same folks that like to go to the skybox and be entertained during the game, they also want a white glove turnkey tailgate experience in the parking lot. So they like to bring their friends, their local businesses and associates, and they like to come 3-4 hours before the game and have a white glove turnkey tailgate experience.
And for the folks who don't like 95-degree weather, you got 72 degrees all year, every year, correct?
We have a PTAC air conditioning unit, which is the same unit that you'll get in a hotel room inside of our Party Shacks. We have phone chargers, which are real popular as well. And of course, beer and wine coolers inside. And of course, it is air conditioned and it's also heated for the teams in the north.
Excellent. And so I want to back up for a second. You briefly said, you guys have gotten a lot of traction within the NFL. So tell us a little bit about that. How are teams utilizing Party Shack for tailgating experiences, but also in other ways?
When the Jaguars, prior to COVID, played the Kansas City Chiefs here in town, the Kansas City Chiefs brought an entourage, everything from fan experience people to marketing to sales, and they actually utilized one of our units pregame, prior to the game, and a lot of their fan base actually stayed during the game. So the Chiefs really pioneered the product after the Jaguars' initial test, and they bought, right after COVID, they bought 14 units, and they put them in their parking lot, and I believe Budweiser and Ford are their corporate sponsors, and they have a huge tailgate. They have about 5,000 people every game out in the parking lot. And our tailgate area is the premium white glove turnkey tailgate experience.
Excellent. So, and you don't have to be an NFL franchise to utilize this. You guys are in other sports and in other forms of entertainment as well, correct?
Yeah, we sell to the sports and entertainment industry. And so you've got festivals, you've got concerts. Concerts like to use them not only for corporate sponsors, but also for green rooms for their actual artists.
Yes.
Prior to the concert. We're at college football, NFL football, we're at NASCAR, PGA Tour, LPGA Tour. So pretty much across the sports and entertainment spectrum.
And locally, you guys have been at things such as like the Taco and Tequila Festival, some of the events that 904 puts on. You guys have been all over the place.
Yeah, 904 does a great job locally. Matter of fact, this weekend I think it's Oktoberfest at Jacksonville Beach, and they did the tequila festival last week here in San Marcos. So no, they do a great job. Like I said, we actually have a big we have a women's golf tournament coming up at St. Augustine, where there'll be units there, and then we also have the ladies surfing contest coming up in Jacksonville Beach, and we'll actually have units on the water.
So people can actually touch it, feel it, and see what Party Shack's all about.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, what inspired this? What was, it's a great idea. It's, it's simple enough, but also very innovative. What was the inspiration behind Party Shack?
My son Bobby created the whole concept, and I was helping him move one weekend from one apartment in Jacks Beach to another apartment in Jacks Beach, and we actually had a pod in the parking lot, and it rained, so we went inside the pod, and Bobby was kind of looking around inside, inside the pod, and he commented and said, "This would be great for a tailgate. It'll fit in a parking space.
No doubt.
You could put windows in it, air conditioning units, stairwell, second story veranda," and he created it that day. Bobby's a real entrepreneur, so about a couple months later, he had his bag when he showed up to work, and he said, I'm going to China, and he says, I'm going to find a manufacturer that'll build our unit initially. This was in 2017, and he did. He went to China. He spent 4 months. He built the first unit. He shipped it back to our warehouse, and we immediately got a hold of the NFL. They did a case study, and the case study basically said that it enhances the fan experience. It creates incremental revenue for the teams, and it also creates sponsorship and branding opportunities for the team. So those are the 3 boxes it checked. The main thing that for any event that highlights Party Shack is we're the last one in and we're the first one out. In other words, we can ship our units in right before the event starts, set everything up. We can activate for the venue, and then we're the first one out as soon as the event is over. And that's kind of unusual because our competition, which is tents and scaffolding and entertainment companies, they come in well in advance and set up, and they're still there weeks after the event.
Right.
So that's really the driving force of Party Shack right now that's made it such a popular product.
You guys got a lot of exciting things on the horizon. If people want to learn more about you and your company, where can they find you guys? www.partyshack.usa.com. And it's either Bobby, my son, Bobby at partyshack.usa.com, or Joe at partyshack.usa.com. Excellent. Joe, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, Jesse.
Very good.
You.
If you guys would like to learn more about Party Shack or us over here at Buzz TV, you can join us at jacksonvillebuzz.com. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Born out of the bold city of the South, Southern Grill has been a mainstay of Jacksonville South Bank for over 18 years. Southern Grill serves up the home-cooked meals daily. From breakfast served daily to Southern cooked barbecue, sandwiches, wraps, platters, and vegetarian options has you covered from sun up to sundown. At night, enjoy some of the live music at our full bar, or catch this week's best college or NFL game with our NFL Sunday ticket. Dine in, to go, delivery, or catering. Enjoy a taste of the South at Southern Grill.
Welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet, and it is my pleasure to have with me Vivek Chakraborty with the Covey Group. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I know I just said a mouthful, Vivek. Tell us a little bit about the Covey Group. I know you founded it, so tell us, what made you found a company, and then what kind of company it is.
Sure. So in 2014, my wife and I founded the Covey Group. And what we do is we specialize in crisis management consulting for multinational companies and organizations.
Okay.
What caused me to found it is I've been doing this for 23 years. So I started in Y2K.
Okay.
Then during 9/11, I was in New York, helped a lot of our clients at the time make it through, recover from 9/11, and then I spent a year in Louisiana after the hurricanes Katrina and Rita in the recovery effort. So for me, it's very personal, and so when it came time to become an entrepreneur, bring my expertise, this seemed like the right thing to do, to help companies navigate. And actually, that's what Covey means. It's an ancient Sanskrit word that stands for sage or oracle.
Okay.
So in ancient times, the Covey helped the kings and queens
Right, they were the ones who came for wisdom and gave them advice and things like that.
So that's what we do today for our clients.
Oh, wow. I love the story behind that.
Yeah.
So I know that a couple of these companies that or areas you mentioned, they've had some major disasters. So tell us a little bit more, like concrete things that you do for these companies. I know they have to recover, but do you go in and you do what?
So we actually, most of the time, help them before something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to help them assess what they're vulnerable to.
Okay,
So
so you
if-
actually do contingency planning too, then?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a big part of what
Okay.
we do. So in the crisis management part, it's the upfront when something happens, how do we respond to it? But then how do we recover from it too is the contingency.
Okay.
So we'll help them assess what could go wrong, how is it going to affect you, what the impact will be,
Mm-hmm.
and then what plans do you need to put in place to minimize the impact.
Okay.
So we may not be able to prevent a
Right.
disaster from
Right.
happening, but how you respond and recover to it,
Sometimes it's just as important.
it's just as important. And so that's what we do.
Okay, so I understand that perfectly. I'm in IT for almost 20 years, and that's
Okay.
for several years. That's what I did: contingency planning
Yeah.
and recovery.
Yeah.
But it was on systems and
Right.
things like that. But
so
the
you're,
same
so
thing.
you talk about hot sites
Right.
and warm sites and
Right.
cold sites.
And also, what if we get hit? What if we,
Yes.
somebody we get hacked? So what are we going to do? We can't prevent everything because obviously systems are, being created every day. That's a little bit bigger,
Correct.
better. But what are we going to do? And those plans sometimes can save you
Yes.
because you don't have time to think in an emergency.
No.
You have to be able to respond.
There are so many things going on,
Mhm.
right? You've got financial impact, you've got operational impact, life safety of your
Right.
employees and their families, and then you've got your own company's reputation. And many times for executives, it's their reputation on the line because they're the ones in front.
Right.
And so, how do you manage and balance all this? If you try to do that during a crisis, it's
You
too
can
late.
forget it. Yes,
it's
too
too
late.
late. So, what we do is we try to come in ahead of time and then we train the folks, we train the executive team, we train their managers, and we try to build that muscle memory
Mhm.
so that when there's a disaster,
You're just doing it by
you
habit,
click.
right?
You're in there. And so 80% of what you're going to face can be taken from one disaster to the next.
Right.
It's the 20% of
That-
subjectivity that you're training them. Here's what you need to assess. Here's how you need to adapt. And you have to do that before because during you're already compromised.
Right. And then also, I think that people, for lack of a political term, they lose their mind when there's an emergency,
Yes.
and they're not thinking straight.
Correct.
And so, if we don't, it's not the time to make those major decisions. It's the time
Correct.
to act on them.
Yes, and what you see in disasters is groupthink because everybody is under duress. So someone who's influential in the group says we should do X. Everybody's like, yes,
Yes.
let's do X.
Because you have a solution, whether it's a good one or not.
Correct. And so you tend to see that sort of groupthink bandwagon effect. And if the person who made the suggestion got it wrong,
Oh.
the entire organization just went sideways.
Right.
Right? And then all you can do is look back and go, what could we have done? Our job is to help you think through that before it happens.
Oh, that is awesome. So, how do companies come to you in advance? Obviously, they do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to help them. But how do you find your clients?
Most of our clients, actually all of our clients, have come to us through referral.
Okay.
One client tells the other saying, hey, we just worked with this company, you should give them a call. That's been the number one way that we've been brought in to help.
That's great.
Because a lot of times crisis managers within organizations talk to each other.
Right.
And they're struggling with the same issues. So when they network, they're usually asking, who do you rely on?
Right.
And for us, luckily, so far, we have delivered on our promise,
Oh, that is great.
on our mission. And our mission is our name. And so we take it very seriously. My team is distributed. We're across 3 continents. And so we can service our clients around the clock.
Wow.
And we do actually. So it's been nonstop for the last few years. If you think about the pandemic,
Right.
we had supply chain issues.
Oh, yeah.
We've had natural disasters. We've had man-made issues, war, cyber, civil unrest. And so there is never a day when someone from my team isn't active working with a client through a disaster. There's not a single day.
Wow, Vivek, that is great. So if someone hears this and they want to learn a little bit more, maybe they haven't given it enough thought yet, and they're saying, maybe I need to talk to this guy. How do they get a hold of you?
The best way I would say is LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn. I post a lot about crisis
Yes, you
management
do.
and business continuity. That would be the most effective way to get a hold of me. We have more information on our website, which is www.thecoveygroup.com.
Okay.
But LinkedIn would be the number one place I would go.
Okay.
And I'm very responsive too on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
I will be there to help.
Okay. So I want to thank you for coming on and sharing that. And hopefully this word gets out to a lot of companies to maybe give you a call and say, hey, maybe we need to have a talk.
I would hope so. And you know, we tell our clients it's not a matter of if
It's
anymore.
when.
It's when.
Yeah.
And so it's better to be prepared and take some time. My recommendation is at least do an assessment on what is your current state of readiness
Right.
at a minimum. And that's what we can help with.
Okay. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for another episode. To learn more about the Covey Group, please reach out to Vivek on LinkedIn. That is the best way to reach him. And we'll see you next time on Buzz TV.
Born out of the bold city of the South, Southern Grill has been a mainstay of Jacksonville South Bank for over 18 years. Southern Grill serves up the home-cooked meals daily. From breakfast served daily to Southern cooked barbecue, sandwiches, wraps, platters, and vegetarian options has you covered from sunup to sundown. At night, enjoy some of the live music at our full bar or catch this week's best college or NFL game with our NFL Sunday ticket. Dine in, to go, delivery, or catering. Enjoy a taste of the South at Southern Grill.
Greetings and welcome to the latest edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Joining me in the studio today is the CEO of the Museum of Science and History here in Jacksonville, commonly known as Mosh, is Mr. Bruce Fafard. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, I'm delighted to find out what's next in store for Mosh, because after the dinosaur exhibition, which was so exciting, tell me what's coming this fall.
Oh, we have so many exciting events coming up. Right now, our prime exhibit is Voyage to the Deep, which is based on Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. What is so exciting, in fact, when I went through it, I had a hard time pulling myself away from the simulation of driving a submarine, because it's a large, large submarine. And while it is geared toward children, I can tell you I learned a lot myself. You get an opportunity not only to sit in the sort of the, I don't know what you would call it, the helm, the cockpit. You get to look through a periscope. You get to understand different opportunities in marine biology. There's even a conning tower you can climb up and slide down. It is just so much fun. And we have that running through January. So please come on out and enjoy that exhibit, which is, like I said, it's such a wonderful learning exercise. In fact, I will tell you one little thing. When you walk in, don't be afraid, but there is a large squid on top of the submarine. Yes, you have to make sure.
If anyone's read the book, they'll understand what's going on there.
Exactly.
No, you've got something going on in the planetarium too, don't you? You've got cosmic concerts, is it?
Yes, we do. Every single month we run cosmic concerts, which is a combination of music and sort of a presentation, but also it's joined with laser lights.
Oh, wow.
Yes. In fact, we have one coming up that features Elton John.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, they're really a lot of fun. Really
You
a
can
lot
have
of
a lot
fun.
of people singing along because everyone knows what the words to the Elton John songs, don't they?
Yes, most definitely. Well, and we encourage that to come on out and do a sing-along. We don't allow karaoke, but you can participate for sure.
Now, you celebrated 80 years last year. What programs have been put in place for the future 80 years coming up?
So one of the things we actually just recently started, we call them community conversations. Very excited about this program. It's a monthly program. And one of the things that I want to tell you about is we have an internationally known Native American troupe that is coming in to do a performance. Larry Izzy is the founder. He's a Native American. They've been featured at the Olympics. They've performed at the Kennedy Center. They performed at the Smithsonian. And it's a combination of modern and traditional Indian dancing. And so that is very exciting. That's actually going to happen on November 4th. I'm going to make sure I get the date right. There are tickets on sale now. And we love doing things like that. Another one is we have Dr. Tamika Hobbs coming in, talking about the history of voting rights within Florida. And so it's a forum to have an open dialogue, conversation about relevant topics, but also learn something new, which is what we're all about, lifelong learning.
So also you've got to update me on the Genesis project. What's going on with that? Where are we now?
So we have been very diligent in continuing to work with the Downtown Investment Authority. We're very excited that we got through that process. Not 100%. We still have to go back and show them some of the final designs. But where we are right now is we are in the process of working with their attorneys, with the city attorneys, to file a legislation with the city council. And that is one of the major milestones for us to get through.
Right.
Concurrent with that, we've been finalizing the building design, but even more exciting, we do have an exhibit designer that we hired, and they have been working with not only our staff, but subject matter experts throughout the community. Individuals that are either professors at Edward Waters or Jacksonville University or University of North Florida, individuals that are very well versed in their subject matter area. And so our exhibit design has been working with them on designing the whole new museum. And I won't tip the hat.
No.
But the board has already looked at the initial designs and have given a green light to move ahead.
Up.
Thumbs up. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Keep us up to date.
I will tell you just one tidbit. It features a lot around the St. Johns River.
Oh.
So more to come on that.
Wonderful. So if people want to know more information, how do they find out about Mosh?
So go to our website at www.themosh.org. We have all our programs listed there. You can buy tickets ahead of time. You can read about some of the other interesting curatorial facts we have going on. You can also get us on social media, whether it be Facebook. You can go and search for the Museum of Science and History. You can go to Instagram, Mosh Jacks at Mosh Jacks. You can find us probably anywhere, or come on down and ask for me. I'll gladly give you a tour.
Wonderful. Bruce, it's always such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information, you can go to themosh.org or iwannabuzz.com. Thank you for watching. Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Joining me in the studio today is Donna Guzzo from First Coast Cultural Center, and she is the President and Executive Director. So we're going to find out all about what's happening there. Good morning.
Good morning, Adrienne. How are you?
I'm very well. Now, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Yes, it's been years.
It has. So tell me, what's going on with the First Coast Cultural Center? What's new?
The First Coast Cultural Center just changed its name from the Cultural Center at Ponte Vedra Beach last year. So it's been maybe not even a year yet, but we're educating the public. We are the same entity for 27 years. We changed the name so that we could be more inclusive. We've always served the beaches area. And now, we continue to do that. We continue to expand. Even within our own county, St. John's, it's no longer just Ponte Vedra. That is our home base. But we are all over St. John's County. We're in the Northwest region. We're in Nocatee. We're in St. Augustine, Title I schools. We're in Duval County. So, being First Coast Cultural Center is just more inclusive all the way around. And we truly represent the First Coast.
So tell me, what's the First Coast Cultural Center's mission?
Well, our mission is to bring the arts into the life of the community in 3 areas. That will be exhibits, which now we're doing pop-up exhibits once a quarter. We do programming, which we offer 172 programs with a staff of 3, that's me included. So I'm very proud of that. And the outreach program, which is where my heart is. The outreach program is the music therapy for children with disabilities in St. Johns County schools.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot.
Yes.
It certainly is a lot. So tell me, you've been with them for a long time now. What's changed over the last few years that has been a challenge for you?
Well, the challenge definitely with the pandemic. And
Sure.
I've been here 5 years now, and the last 2 years have been very challenging with the pandemic, people not coming in. We were closed down for, shut down for 4 months. So that definitely will hurt any nonprofit, let alone a small nonprofit like us. But then we, we didn't sit idle during that time. We looked at our mission and we said, do we change our mission or do we really live our mission? And we all agree, let's live our mission. And the mission being bringing the arts into the life of the community, it was like ding, ding, light bulb went off, and let's bring the arts to the community. People are not coming in, they're afraid. Let's bring it out to the schools. So our music therapy program for children with disabilities doubled. We were in 3 schools, we're now in 7, going on 8. And we kicked off an after-school enrichment program for visual arts that started with 4 schools. We now have 8 different ones than the music therapy program. But that has been really a lifesaver to be able to fulfill the mission, live the mission, and not miss a beat with the arts.
Yes.
And now this year, people are starting to come back in. So we're seeing more and more classes at the studio. We provide visual arts, watercolor and wine with Ellen Diamond. She's a master artist in Ponte Vedra. We're bringing Peter Rubino from out of state as a master artist in sculpting. We're having ceramics classes with Autumn. She is from Atlantic Beach. So we're expanding all over, and in Campen with one of our volunteers who's also an artist. So we're here to help the local artists, to bring them jobs, to bring the arts to our community, to the people that want to come in also, and have a studio just to work their magic, to work their art.
Sure.
But the most exciting part, Adrian, is we're having an international exhibit. Yes, during these times where I only have one small studio, 1,600 square feet, we are bringing an international exhibit from Portugal, from Paula Veloso. She's a photographer, and it's called The Eyes Are the Window to the Soul.
Ooh, and when's this coming
So
up?
this is happening December 2nd and 3rd during our 32nd annual holiday shops. It will be Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. That's where we're kicking it off on the 2nd and 3rd. But then we're going to move it to our studio for 3 weeks. So it'll be open from December 2nd through December 22nd.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Now, how do people find out about the programming and the exhibits and things
Well,
like
the
that?
best way is go to firstcoastculturalcenter.org or visit us on social media. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on Pinterest.
Donna, it's always a pleasure to see you, and it's always a pleasure to find out what's going on around our First Coast. So thank you for coming in and explaining.
Thank you.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information, you can go to firstcoastculturalcenter.org or iwannabuzz.com. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Jacksonville Buzz today. Stay tuned and perhaps you'll find out what's happening next week.